Say that one more time.
You have to have 2 forms of ID, a driver's license and a credit card, or a passport or something, but you need 2 forms of ID. If you don't have it, they will send you home. The old testing center made you reschedule and they charged it twice. This one has been kinder and they've like let you reschedule and not double charged you. So I hope they don't revert to old ways, so be careful, 2 forms of ID.
You said a credit card can count as well.
Yes, with your name on it. But
Does
a
it have to
picture,
match?
You need a picture. The name has to match.
Does
2
it have
forms
to
of
have
ID.
Jerica Lee Drew?
I
or
don't
just
know.
Jerica
They
Drew?
have to be
Like one with a
matched.
picture and one without.
What, hun?
One with a picture and one without.
Yeah, just like a credit card and then your license. That's what I always say. Or, yeah. So you have to have 2 forms of ID. Let's see. Put your hair up. I brought this so I could just, because you don't want to self-groom. If you have contacts, wear contacts. If you have to wear glasses, just sanitize all the time. Put your hair back. I wouldn't wear jewelry. I wouldn't have a necklace on. I would take my watch off because you want to sanitize up your wrist. So I wouldn't wear any jewelry. Okay? I'll put that in there. Then you're gonna do this will be in here. When you get there, they're going to assign you those 8. It's in a long row. The first thing they're going to say is, you will prepare your work area for your client. You will set up the universal supplies you will use throughout the examination. You will also set up the supplies for the manicure and polish application. You will prepare your client for the services. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 15 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 8 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. So they're going to read that twice. This in bold, and you can get on the website, the NIC National Nail Technology Practical Exam. And this is all written out for you. You can get on there. But this in bold is what they're going to test you on, what they're looking for, what problems you're going to have. Disinfect all work area completely with product labeled in English or EPA registered bacteria, verticidal, or fungicidal disinfectant. Sanitize hands with product labeled in English. Universal supplies are labeled in English. Items to be disinfected, soil, linens, trash are deposited in the correct manner throughout this section. So that's what they're looking for in this first section that you have 15 minutes to do. If somebody wants to time me to see how long it takes me to do it while I'm talking, you're welcome to do that and then tell me when there's 8 minutes remaining. Sometimes it helps you to see that it doesn't take that long to do this, so you can really take your time and relax, because 15 minutes is a long time. So that's what I'm going to do. The first thing you're going to do is get your tote. When you open it up, you want to open it up, take it away from your body. Don't put it underneath your armpit or something. Don't set it on the floor. Don't set it on your table. Just put it away from your body. This is dirty, so we don't care. Here's my 3 garbage can trash to be disinfected, properly labeled. And I'm going to grab pretty much everything that's loose in my tote. I'm going to grab my hospital grade disinfectant. I'm going to grab my sanitizer, and just because it's loose in my tote, I'm going to go ahead and grab my paper towels and my gloves. The only other thing that's loose in here is my hand and the 2 bags. So then I'm going to go like this, click, click. Every time you shut this tote, it has to be, not just put the lid on top, it has to be clicked closed, okay? These are paper. I can't sanitize them, so I'm just going to move them to the side. Get them out of my way. I'm going to go ahead and set up my trash to be disinfected and my soil linen. I want to set this up because I got to have a place to put my after I wipe off this table. You want to set this up with the trash closest to you. So I'm gonna put the trash. Then soiled linens, I'm gonna use the least, so I want that the furthest away from me. And then to be disinfected, I want in the middle. So I'm gonna put to be disinfected. We have a little treasure, put that in there. Right there. So now that I've got my trash, then I've got to clean my table. So I'm gonna first sanitize my hands. When I sanitize my hands, this is wrong. This is wrong. You want to be extreme. Put your finger here, let it drop into your hand. Put this towards the examinator, wash your hands. When you wash them, go up your wrist. Okay? Then you're gonna put on gloves. This is the only time you put on gloves is when you're gonna handle this. If you touch this with your bare hands, you will be docked. So now I'm gonna put on my gloves, and then I'm gonna wash this table. You don't need to re-disinfect after you do that. Pop this open. They're all about closing containers. You're gonna get this, make sure you close it, snap it shut. Take this, make sure it faces the examiner. Then I'm gonna wash my table, my work area. Then I've gotta wash this and clean to clean. Take this, clean to clean, and finish washing my table. I can move this out of my way. Just do it, just make sure. Now, when you take this off, I want to put this inside of the glove, pull it through, this inside here, pull it through, garbage. Put that in the trash. Now I've got to go back into my tote. Anytime I go into my tote, I make sure I re-sanitize. So I'm going to take this extreme, wash my hands, go into my tote, and I'm going to, now this is clean, things in the tote are clean, so I can grab this. I'm going to grab this one. With all my universal supplies, I can put it right onto the table. That is clean. Click my tote shut and get that out of the way. Now I can come here. I have 2 towels, probably overkill, but I like to take 1 towel, put it to the side. Is anybody taping? This 15 minutes? How long, what time are we on? Did anybody tape? Nobody taped?
It's like 5 minutes.
See, I'm doing a lot of talking. This right here is over here to the side. And then I've got, and then when you set this up, this is already clean. Just make sure it's to them, my alcohol, my acetone, my base, my top, my color, my first aid kit, and oil. So I'm going to set that all up. Take this, roll it, just so you don't have it coming out of your garbage can, and put that in the garbage. Now, I can see that I have forgot my hand. It's in there. I'm going back into my tote. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my hand, put that shut. I'm going to put it towards me, and I'm going to look at it and go, okay, I like everything. Everything looks good. I've done everything. I'm going to sanitize my hand one last time. Turn the hand towards the portrait to indicate I've finished, and I'm done. Now once you're done, don't go, oh God, I'm done. You're still being judged while everybody else is still doing this part of the exam. So my suggestion is sanitize your hands and then just do this. wait for them to say, we're ready to move on, or everybody's completed this section. But it's not wrong if you're nervous to put your hands in your lap and wait, because when we start up again, the first thing you're gonna do is sanitize your hands. I just don't want you to do any self-grooming. I don't want you to fuss with your hair or do a big sigh, or, just know that you're still being judged, and I want you to be very careful about what you're doing, okay? Okay, we're gonna move on to the second part of the section. Now I have this cheat sheet, and I will give it to you, and we can read what we did. And pretty much, I want you to memorize this, because it's everything I'm telling you. So we can read what I did. This is section 1, it's work area, client preparation, and setup of supplies, 15 minutes. I opened the tote, I removed the 3 bins, and I set up the 3 bins. Remove the barbicide wipe, hand sanitizer, and gloves from the tote, paper towels. Sanitize your hands and put on the gloves. Disinfect your work area with the barbicide wipes. Throw the gloves and the barbicide wipes into the trash. Sanitize your hands, remove the paper towels, the manicure bag supply, and your tote. Put on your work area. Close the tote, sanitize your hands, set up the supplies, turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you've finished. So it's all kind of broken down here in section 1. Now let's move to section 2, manicure and polish application. You get 20 minutes for this one. So then they're going to read this to you. In section 2, it reads, to all candidates, you will perform a manicure and polish application. You will be expected to follow all client protection and safety infection control procedures. You have 20 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. Now the candidates will be evaluated on the following tasks, and then the tasks are in bold. Manicure supplies are labeled in English. Got it. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. That's why I wrapped them up in white, and they're visibly clean over here. Perform a basic manicure. They're not going to tell you the steps. They just want you to do it your way. It doesn't matter if you lotion and then oil and then lotion. You just want to do all the steps. Okay? Prepare the nails and applies red polish to the nails. Then after that, they're looking for the final appearance of the manicure, final appearance of the polish application. So that's what we're doing. So I can go over here to my cheat sheet, and it says you may begin. This is a new client, you're performing a manicure, so the first thing you're going to do is sanitize your hands. I'm going to just put it right here. And then you're going to sanitize your mannequin hand. You're going to take it and do extreme, let it drop. Put that back so they can see it. And sanitize your mannequin hand. Then, the first thing you're going to do, you got to remember this is natural nails. And the first thing we want to do is score the wood, your file. And I want you to take an orange wood stick and score it, which is getting the rough edges off your nail file. Shape the free edge. And let me show you this. I'm going to get in this tote just to show you. Because I prepped all your hands and I put them in here. And here is your hand, and your hand's going to look like this. And I just want you to kind of shape it. You can take the corners off around it, but when you do it, they are looking to see if you're holding the hand properly, which means thumb and forefinger with the undergrip. Or you could hold it like this. They want to see that. They want to see, they don't want you to do this because it would be really easy to hold the hand like this and do this. But they want it on every finger. They're going to be looking for that. So you're going to do this, side to center, one direction. Side to center, one direction. It's natural nails, no sign. And you're going to do that on every finger. And it's really easy, and I find myself just doing this and just doing it. But take the time. You've got 20 minutes, side to center, on each one. And then bring your hand over here on every finger. Side to center, side to center. And you want to do it to universal length, but it's all pretty universal, so just take a little off the corners and you'll be good. So once you do that, you've done all 5. You're going to put cuticle softener on the cuticles. So they want to see you make a Q-tip. So you're going to come over here, grab some cotton. You don't need very much. You're going to make a Q-tip. You're going to get your cuticle softener. Any item we open, we're going to open over the garbage can. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to open the lid. I'm going to put the lid here. I'm going to take it back over the garbage can. I'm going to extremely drop it on here. I don't want the top of this nozzle to touch this. Don't touch. So just let that drop on. This. Put your lid on. Get it off your table. I want you to do it as you're doing it to be disinfected. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this over all 5 of my hand. Then after I put it on there, I'm going to take the other side and I'm going to push back the echinacea. So I'm going push, 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 and then you can scrape and wipe it here. Do that on all 5. What they don't want to see is aggressive sawing. They just want a lightly push and then a scrape and a push on all 5. So you're going to do that. Then we want to clean under the nail. So this, I've used both sides, so garbage, can't use it again. You have a second orange wood stick. We're going to make another. Make another one. We're going to clean underneath. We clean with alcohol. Same thing. Over the garbage. Squirt, squirt, squirt. And underneath. We clean underneath all 5. Then I'm going to just put this here. Then I want to put, then we can buff. Now that we've cleaned them, let's buff them. Look over, here's your orange. Same thing. See how I wanted to just do like this because it's so easy? That's wrong. Then come over here, or under, over or under grip. And if you skip a step or do it out of order, it doesn't matter. They just ask you to perform a manicure. So it doesn't matter if you do it out of order. They just want to see that you're going to do all the steps. This, one-time use, garbage. Then we want to apply cuticle oil to our hand. So here's my cuticle oil. When you do your cuticle oil, open it up over here. Put it here. Bring the hand. Drop it extremely right here. I would only do 1 drop because it's going into your hand. This is plastic, it won't absorb. Put the lid on to be disinfected. Take it from here and rub it here on all your cuticles. So you got that into the cuticles. Then you've got to do your massage. So take your lotion. Same thing, we're going to turn the hand over, extremely drop this on. I would do as little as I can. It's going into you. You don't want a lot. Face the proctor. Take this. And then this is where you want to do your, they only are looking to see if you'll do at least 2 massages, but I want you to do all 4. So you're going to do this one, baby circles, turn it over, do it up the palm. I'm going to do this one, and I should remember the names, and then run it down each finger, which is kind of hard with these plastic hands. So there's the third, that's the second one. Then you're going to tap it. They just want to see that you know these massages. And if you did 2, you'd be fine. But you know what, I'm over here. Let's do 4. And then the pinching. Now once you've done this, we've got all this oil and lotion on our hand. We've got to get it off so we can paint it. So come over here, get your alcohol, squirt, 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 and then we're going to clean and clean and clean all of this with our alcohol, garbage. Then we're going to do our base coat. Oh, and did you see what I did wrong there?
You opened it not over the
I
trash
did open
can.
it over the trash can. So, don't be me. But you know, you're going to get, and then I do center, side to side.
Do they care if you actually like take more than 3 strokes?
No,
No.
they don't. And when I listened to the proctor go over the examination, but look what else I'm doing wrong.
You're not holding the
I'm
fingers.
not holding it right. I'm going to point out all my mistakes. So put it back here. I mean, just you want to hold it like this, hold it like this. So that's why I'm saying, take your time. And if you see that you're doing something wrong, just correct yourself. They're going to know. They'll be fine. But they don't care if you do it 10 strokes or 3. And this probably isn't going to apply very well because I just pretended to put alcohol on it. Put the lid on to be disinfected. Then we're going to do the color. I'm going to open the bottle over here. And I'm going to paint all 5 fingers red. And this polish is a 1 coat coverage. So that's why I have this polish in here, and it has to be red. And I'm going to send this hand around for you to see, because if you'll notice, I'm not going to worry about line work, and I'm going to get it to where it looks pretty good. It's good enough. Put the lid on this to be disinfected over here, and I wouldn't wait. I'd go right into the top coat. Even this, you can see it's got a little red on it. Really don't care.
Because it's just used for the red.
Yeah. the lid on to be disinfected. Now this is a time you can look down and say, okay, I've done everything. I want to clean up as much as I can. I know I'm not going to be filing anymore. I can put that in the trash. I know I don't need this anymore. I'm going to put that in the trash. I want to leave this here because I know I'm going to have to take this red polish off, and I give you enough for every finger. So know you've got enough in your kit to take out care of what you need to
These
get.
kits together, or did we put these kits
It's all done. They are ready to go.
Thanks.
So now that I'm just kind of looking at everything, I feel good about everything. Everything's done. My table looks good. I'm going to sanitize my hands. Up to my wrists. I'm going to turn the hand towards the proctor to indicate I've finished and be done. That's all you have to do on a manicure. Okay? Now,
Did you do the lotion before you did the polish?
I
Just
did.
because it's regular polish.
I did. Well, yeah, you'll see it, but you do the oil and then the lotion, and then there's a section where I take the oil off, then we paint it, then we turn it around. Okay, now we have this little teeny section here that is, it will say, all examiners have indicated they are ready to proceed. You will remove the polish from the nails and properly dispose of supplies used in the previous section of the examination. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 5 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you're finished. Okay, so now we have 5 minutes to take this polish off.
Didn't you want to show them the polish first?
Like already done.
To pass the hand around to...
Oh, yes. Do you want to see how close I got? I mean, I did that really fast. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to get it clear in there, because it doesn't need to be clear in there. And notice that I missed on one of the sides. I missed the polish going all the way. Don't care. They're literally final appearance of the polish application. If you'll notice, it is not perfect. It is good enough. My leg's going to sleep for some reason.
The hand's really moisturized.
What's going around? So someone said that they put the cuticle oil on their thumb and then rub it into all of them.
That,
You wouldn't do that, or
you know what? I'll tell you why I wouldn't do that. I think it would look awkward to take your oil and put it like here. So I would do it the way I told you to do. I think that's a great idea when you're in the salon working and you have your gloves on, and you know, you put it and then rub it around. But this is the state board test. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, and it's a great way to do it. So you're not, and I think it's a safe way to do it because you're not touch, which is contaminating. You're just putting it here on yourself, you're putting it away, and you're rubbing it on. I get that, but for the state board, I want you to put it here, let them see that you're clean, you're dropping it, and you're taking it from here onto each finger. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. So, yeah, see, and look how, if you look really close, I got some on the cuticle right there. Don't care. The final appearance, they're just going to look at the whole picture. They're not going to be that picky about, I touched it there. Oh, I missed it there. They're really not going to care. I would rather you have it not on there than to hit the side and then worry about having to clean it up. So, anyway. So now we have 5 minutes to take this red polish off. Get your acetone. We're going to flip this open. Saturate this. Make sure you shut it and it clicks. Bring it here and just place it on there and hold. Let the acetone do the work.
And you don't have to open that up over the garbage, or you do?
You probably should have. Good point. Tori, you win. That's why people are getting 98s instead of 100. But see how the whole thing will come off? And I don't think I would do it over the garbage, because that's really hard to go like this
Every time.
every time.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to a bottle, I would, but one will do at least 2. Make sure you close it. And then take the polish off all 5. And see, I should have just garbage. And then you have like 4 more for 3 more fingers, because you know, I give you extra. And even in the next section, it gives you time to get the residual, but you got 5 minutes. You've got more than enough time to get this polish off. I don't want them in there, so it
Okay,
should
but
be in the
when we do
garbage.
it, we can put them in. Okay, I'm like, wait, what's going on?
What is she doing over here? I just know that I gotta clean this up and put this tote back together. I'm putting the garbage on the,
That's
I
fair.
have a
You don't
garbage
wanna-
floor over here. You caught me.
I'm like, wait.
What is she doing?
I was like, why don't we put that in the trash?
Yeah.
But see, that is good enough. See how there's a little bit of red? Don't worry about it. It's good enough. And then that, and then we're gonna put this back up here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. And I'm gonna turn the hand and say I'm done with that 5-minute section of the.
You did that in less than 3 minutes.
See, and I was talking and yeah. You guys have got, don't panic, you really do have a lot of time.
What's the difference with like, the other things you put in it to be disinfected, but like the acetone like bottle you don't?
You don't. These are called your universal supplies, and we leave the universal supplies on our desk.
Okay.
The one thing I could get rid of is the lotion. But I'm not worried about it, it can sit there. And maybe later I'll look at it and go, oh, I don't need that. I'm gonna put that in to be disinfected. But this, and this, universal supplies stay on your desk, okay? So then we're gonna go to the next section, and the next section is,
Hi, I'm so sorry.
no, you're fine.
I just make some tables and some chairs.
Okay, you just help me. Absolutely, absolutely.
So sorry.
Nope, you're fine. Okay, this is the 3rd section of the thing. It says work area, new client preparation, and setup of supplies. You only have 10 minutes for this. You will prepare your work area for a new client. That's really important that you hear it's new client. Okay, so that means we gotta clean everything because it's a new client. Okay? You will set up the universal supplies you will use for the remainder of the examination. That's our universal supplies. You will also set up the following section for the examination: nail tip application and blending, sculpted nail service, removal of the sculpted nail. You will prepare your client for the services. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. I need to shut that door away. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section. Oh, she's got chairs. You'll be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate any procedure until verbal instructions are given and you are instructed to begin. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. Let me tell you what they're going to judge you on. Disinfect all work area completely with product labeled in EPA registered bacteria, virucidal, and fungicidal disinfectant. Sanitize hands with product labeled in English. Universal supplies are labeled in English. Items to be disinfected, soiled linens, and trash are deposited in the correct manner throughout the section. So when you hear new, you've got to come over here, and the first thing I want you to do is get a paper towel and get your hand out of the way. So I'm going to take the hand and put it out of the way. This is garbage. I probably should have taken care of it when I took my polish off. I didn't, not the end of the world. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna roll this up, put this in the garbage. I'm gonna take these linens, soiled linens. I gotta clean my work area for a new client. So the first thing I'm gonna do is sanitize my hands and put on gloves. Then I'm gonna take all this, I'm gonna move it to the side. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pop it open, I'm gonna get one of these. Make sure I shut this. And go back to clean. So I'm gonna clean this really well. And wipe this off. And then I'm gonna wipe everything down. And move it over. And I can look and I don't need this. To be disinfected. Then I'm gonna get rid of, oops. I clean the rest of this. Then the same thing, get this into here, this into here. Garbage, I need to go in my tote. Always sanitize your hand before you go into your tote. And now this is clean. I can get in my tote. I can grab this. Make sure I close that shut. And set up for my next services I'm going to give.
If that roll had fallen during the test, what would you suggest that we do to
It's
save the
paper.
revenue?
It's paper, I won't worry about it. It's not like you can disinfect it, so I won't worry about it. You know, I think from when they did that, when the proctor did that hour and a half long thing, he said, you know, address it, but they know you're going to drop a comb. They know that you might drop a file. They know you need it for the test. Do the best you can. You sanitize your hands, you pick it up, you put it down. You know, you might take it and spray it with alcohol, but you got to use your brush. You got to use it. So just not addressing it would be more of a problem if you just like pretended like you didn't see it happen. So here's my tips. Here's my oil. Here's in this second bag you'll have your odorless kit. And then you have, I give you 2 things of glue in case one doesn't work. And then your dampen dish. And same thing here, we're gonna roll this up. Put that in the garbage. I'm gonna take my hand. I'm gonna move it over here. I'm probably gonna just throw this away. Bring your hand here, make sure everything looks good. I can go ahead, I've got enough time. I don't know how much time's been lapsed, but you can open up your odorless kit. You can get your brush out, your forms. I just grabbed this. Well, we're gonna do some pretending because I don't want to get up. In your kit, you will have, it will say white or clear. We're not going to use the white because that's a bad choice.
It'll show the most flaws.
But yes, it will show the most flaws. But just for pretend's sake, because I just got this, this is primer, pretend. This is my odorless, so you can go ahead and open this up. What did I do wrong? Over the garbage can. Over here. We're going to take and open this, and I'm going to dump that just a little bit in there, enough to make one bead. Put the lid on to be disinfected. The clear powder, I'm going to open it over here. I'm going to open this up. Put the lid on to be disinfected. Okay, I've got that ready. I've got my primer here. I got my tips. I maybe can open this up. I've got my tip cutters in here. And I'm gonna look around and go, I like it, everything looks fine, I'm ready to go, I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I'm gonna turn the hand towards the proctor to indicate I've finished. And go into the next section. So there's my setup for a new client. Then we're gonna go to, the first thing they're gonna do is your nail tip application and blending. They're gonna tell you what finger. I don't know what finger. I can tell you that 90% of the kids that come back with their hand, it's the forefinger and the middle finger. Sometimes it's the middle finger and ring. You just have to listen to hear what they say. They will say, you will perform a nail tip application and blending. You will apply the nail tip to the ring finger. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 20 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. I'll tell you what they're looking for. Nail tip application and blending supplies are labeled in English. Got it. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Prepares the nail tip for the application. Selects full weld tip and attaches it to the nail plate of the sign finger. Trims, shapes, and blends the tip. And then the final appearance of the blended tip. So all you're going to do, the instructions have been repeated. This is the fourth. You've got your little cheat sheet. You're going to remember new client. So the first thing I'm going to do is sanitize my hands. And I'm going to sanitize my client's hands. It's back over here. Sanitize. Then just like you would do if you were going to put a tip on, the first thing I would do is sanitize my finger. I'm going to put it on over here. I'm going to clean that.
Do they expect you to clean all the fingers or just the one?
Just the one. Just the one, the finger you're working on. That in the garbage. Then I'm going to select the tip.
Try not to spill it this time.
And try not to spill it. I need to tape that shut because I want them to see. But open it up, and because I encourage cheating, I want you to take the size. It's going to be number 7 because these 3 can make a 7 work, and it's usually never the pinky or the thumb. But just put one right there, and then you'll know that you're getting the right size. Close that up. Do a sizing. I'm like, oh, that's going to be perfect. Then you're going to come over here, and I'm missing 2 files. Why isn't there files? You're going to have 2 files in your little thing. Don't think you're not. I don't know why this one doesn't have it. But you're going to take your file, and you're going to blend the tip. Blend it in your hand. So you're going to come down the sides. You're going to rough it all up over here. You can saw. This is not the natural nail plate. We're going to saw and get this. It did! I'm so happy. Will you go grab me 2 of the white files so I can put it in there? I'm just going to make this work. But when you're doing it, I want you to do extra pressure right here at the end. Because the thinner you get this, and you're doing it in a hand, the thinner it will be here. And I'll let you feel it before I even...
At what point do you file the fingernails for the manicure?
At the very first.
Okay, so before oil, before.
Yep. When it says perform the manicure, the first thing you're going to do is shape. So anyway, I want to get that as thin as I can. Then, another thing, when you put anything down, never put it here or here. Always put it on the towel. That will be a sanitation mark. So don't, make sure it's on the table if you have to put your file down. Then, we've cleaned this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to open it up over here. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drop it over here. I'm gonna put the lid on. Thank you. Yes, perfect. Put the lid on and I'm gonna leave it there for a minute and not put it right away. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna connect and I'm gonna push up that glue. And it will glue really easy because I'm gluing a tip to the tip. And if you'll notice, I'm going halfway down the finger. I'm not going full well up. I want it just right there in the center. And wait for that to dry. Take your tip cutters. And really, while you're waiting, that glued on really well. I know I don't need my glue anymore to be disinfected. And I can take this.
Sorry, one more
No,
question.
you're fine.
So I know we have to have 150 hours to take this exam. Is that the same for the written?
Then I'm going to take here, I'm going to hold here, garbage, and I probably can be disinfected, get it off your table. Then you're going to take your file and shape it. But you can saw, because this is a tip, it's not natural nails. And I haven't even filed over the top, and I want you to fill it. I'll send it around. That's good enough. I did all the blending in my hand before I even glued on the tip. So that's all the blending you need to do. So they're gonna come and take your hand and look at it, look down the barrel. They're gonna fill it. If they fill it like that, you've done good. That's all they care about. I've even had people pass with it even rougher than that. I don't need this anymore to be disinfected. And you have 20 minutes to do this little teeny section. 20 minutes to do a tip on a tip. It's not going to take you that long. So don't panic about this one. Really just take your time. Perfect. So, and the reason why I'm worried about going over the top is anytime you're filing and you make marks on your hand, they might consider that you cut them or you nick them and you'll be done. So try not to, anything you can do in your hand, you're gonna be better off. So that's blended good enough. I like it, done. Then I'm going to sanitize my hands. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate I've finished. Bam. Then we're going to go on to the next section. Which is your sculpted nail. You will sculpt a nail on that. They're going to tell you what finger. I'm going to use the pinky because it's a clean nail on this used hand. You must use manufacturer seal, low odorous, less odor product. Check your state specific testing guidelines for product requirements. You will be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You have 20 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. Okay, so we're sculpted now. So you may begin. So go like this. You really, it's the same person, so you probably don't need to sanitize your hands and sanitize the mannequin hand, but it's not going to hurt. If you get nervous, sanitize your hands. If you just want to take a deep breath, sanitize your hands. So you're never going to get docked for sanitizing your hands. So I'm just going to go ahead and sanitize my hands. I know I'm going to do the pinky. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to remove shine from the nail plate, just like you would in the real life. Hold it with thumb and forefinger. Remove the shine from the nail plate. Then I need to cleanse the nail plate. Because I won't put anything on it like in the real world we would clean it. Then I'm going to cleanse it. Then I'm going to prime it. So it's on a brush. I'm going to put would be like your non-acid primer. I'm going to do that to be disinfected. Then I'm going to put a form on it. These forms come in your odorless kit. I think they're okay. If you're not uncomfortable with it, you can bring your own form.
Your own forms, those ones that come with your main kit, they're a lot better than these ones, huh?
But these work. The other state board odorless kit we had, they had the
The
horseshoe one,
horseshoe ones.
and people really struggled with that one. I don't really have a lot of people complain about this one. Just fit it right underneath. And then if it was me, just like I don't tell you, I would put it here and then I wrap it around. Wrap it around my forehead just like that. So it's stuck on there pretty good, and then secure it. Okay, so you got to put a form down, and they want to see that you do length. I would only do one square,
Notch.
just a little bit of length. Don't, so you just got to have length. So then open these up. Make sure when you're not using these that these are always shut. Okay, we're going to saturate our brush, and I'm going to get one bead. But if you've ever worked with the odorless, I want you to work with it till you see dandruff or little like a cloud, and it just absorbed right in. Go back in, and it absorbed in. Take your time and do it one more time. Ooh, it's still there. Then I go in one more time. I mean, I want it so dry, the driest bead. Then I'm going to take this, and when I place it, I want to place it right in the middle of the finger. Okay? Then I'm going to tap it, and because this is oil-based, you literally, it will self-level, and you'll be able to work with it. If you get a dry enough bead, then barely go down, and then just bring it down to make a little bit of a free edge. Then I'm going to take this, and well, I know I don't need another bead, so I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I can pass this around and you guys can see what I've done. And look how it will just self-level for you and be absolutely fine. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to shut the one hand, I'm going to dump this in here, wipe it out, shut it, open this side, dump it into that paper towel, put this in the garbage, put this to be disinfected. This, I don't need to make another bead to be, I would just throw it away. This to be disinfected. And now you're waiting for that to dry. And it's always going to be tacky, tacky, tacky. But see how it's self-leveled? One bead, and I had a pretty big bead, and I put it right in the center and then just barely feather it up and bring it out for that little bit of free edge. You don't have to do a level, you don't have to do a pink and white, it's just one bead. And if you work it really, you gotta remember, odorless is oil-based, not EMA-based. And then just kind of look around and clean everything up. Then take your orange wood stick or your brush. I got rid of my brush, but I have an orange wood stick. And click it. It's not clicking. The hardest part in this test is going to be waiting for this to set up. So it could, and if you touch it, it's sticky, 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 and it will always stay sticky. It doesn't, it always is sticky because that's just the nature of this.
Is there ever a plus side to using odorless?
Mm-mm.
Other than it's odorless.
You know, I had one of my students want to use odorless, and she's like, I'm going to use it, and she ruined her really expensive, nice brush, because the oil and the EMA, they don't like each other, and so she ruined the brush, and then it goes yellow really quickly, and it doesn't, no. I say no. So there's my click. It's just barely starting to click on here, but it's still not quite clicking on the end. So give it another minute.
Start contemplating your life.
Yes. You can take the orange wood stick and gently, like, remove it. See if it will come off the
Form.
form. The form will come off. Then take your form off. Garbage. Then we're gonna shape this. But really all I'm doing is just, but you'll see that its oxygen inhibition layer is quite gummy, but just file over it. And that's really all I'm gonna do. I really didn't even need to file it. I probably could have been good enough without filing it. Then I can take my buffer and buff it. Then I can take my oil. Oil it. Sanitize my hands. Now I've sanitized my hands, but I would look around and I give you two in your thing. I give you two. You can go ahead and get rid of it, but I'd probably put it over here. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna, I might need this stuff. Don't get rid of all this stuff. Put it here. Sanitize my hands. I feel good about it. I'm gonna turn the hand towards the proctor and then get it finished, okay? Then we're going to remove what we just put on. That's the next section. So let me read what that says. You'll perform a removal of the sculpted nail. You'll be expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You have 20 minutes to complete this section. You'll be informed when you have 10 minutes remaining. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. This is what they're judging you on. Sculpted nail removal supplies are labeled in English. Implements and supplies are visibly clean. Remove sculpted nail, smooth and finishes the natural nail. They really don't care if you get all this acrylic off. They just want to see that you know how to do it. So what you're going to do is always sanitize your hands. It's the same client. You don't need to sanitize their hand. Sanitize their hand. We're going to remove this. You'll hear everyone in the room take their file and go crazy. And you can too. I would start sawing this down as much as I could. I would saw down the center. Then I would take my foil with an extra pad saturate this. Close
Can we do it as minimum as that of sawing? Or do we have to saw as much as everyone else is gonna be pretty much doing?
Just do
You just have to
exactly,
like shove it, you have to know.
just show, what you're doing is you're showing that you know how to do it. And
Cause
if
I'm
you were
making a
doing-
bet everyone else is gonna keep
And if
sawing
they
and
are,
stuff.
let them do you. You didn't make it too long. Put it here. And wrap this around. Then I want you to put your finger around it because you want to show them that you know that heat causes it to break up.
Yeah.
And then I want you to count to 60. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and just wait. Then we're gonna take this, hey you, we're gonna take this off, garbage. I'm gonna get my orange wood stick, and I'm going to scrape, 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 scrape. They don't wanna see this. They don't want to see that you're gonna get your nippers or something and pry it off. They just wanna see you do this. So then
Can you
do
be
it
using a
again.
paper towel instead of the towels to be wiping on?
It doesn't matter. You can.
So you don't ruin the towels?
It doesn't matter. Then we're gonna do the same thing. I want you to do it twice. Put it back on here, wrap it around, count to 60 again, hold it in your hand, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, we're done. It will still be on there, who cares? You're just showing them that you know what to do and the steps it takes to remove the acrylic now. Garbage, file, 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 buff, buff, buff. Then I would oil over the garbage. Sanitize my hands. Turn the hand off in to indicate I finished the end. Then the next one is the blood spill. This is the last part of the section. And they're gonna say this to you. Before I turn that hand, let's go back up. I'd probably go, I'm done. I've done the removal. I know I don't need this. I don't need any of this stuff. So I would probably go ahead. Garbage. I could even take this to be disinfected. Soiled linens. And then sanitize my hands and then turn it over. Done. So we're all nice and clean. Then they're gonna say, everybody, you will demonstrate the blood exposure. And then they'll read this. You will imagine the following scenario. During a service, you have sustained a minor cut to your index finger. The injury is such that you can continue with the service. The injury has not yet contaminated your work area or the client. You are expected to demonstrate the proper procedure for a blood exposure. You are expected to follow all client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will be instructed individually by the examiner to demonstrate the blood exposure procedure. You have 5 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 2 minutes remaining. Do not demonstrate the blood exposure procedure until instructed individually by the examiner to do so. Turn the hand towards the examiner to indicate you have finished. The instructions will be repeated. You may begin. This is what they're going to judge you on. First aid supplies and materials are labeled in English. Removes material from first aid kit. Supplies and materials are visibly clean. Cleans injured area with antiseptic. Covers injury with dressing that is absorbent and secure. Band-Aid. Disposes of all contaminated supplies. Candidate protects injury with glove or finger caught. Okay, so what you're going to do, and it's right here. Here's the steps. Place a paper towel on your work area. Remove the material from the first aid kit. So I'm going to open this up, and they're visibly clean. I'm going to remove my alcohol wipe, and I'm going to remove a Band-Aid. I'm going to shut that. But it's universal supply, so
You're
go
gonna
back
move
there.
your client out of the way?
He could be right there. If you want, you can. It's not wrong, but I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
So I've removed that out. I've sanitized my hands before I started. Now I would put a glove on my hand that I'm going to work with. I've cut right here, so I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put this glove on. I'm going to open this up. Garbage. Garbage. Clean. Garbage. The problem you are going to have is this likes to stick to your glove. So put it here. So put your Band-Aid on. See, that's your problem. Then take a glove and put it on the injured hand. Remove this glove, throw this away, done. So just remember in your little head, I'm gonna have a glove on this hand and I'm gonna have a glove on this hand, one at a time. Okay? Then they're gonna say, get your stuff and get out of here, you're done.
What do you do, just like shovel it and
Yes,
just run?
usually everybody does. The kit comes back a mess because it's just like, they don't care. They want you to put all your stuff in the tote and get it out of here. So everybody just throws it in there and they're done. Any questions? Okay, I have to go potty.